This Keloland Living segment is sponsored by Lewis Drug, your first stop for exceptional pharmacy services and guidance to help you and your loved ones rest easy when it comes to your health.
We all know a good night's sleep feels great, but it's also one of the most important things you can do for your overall health.
From boosting your mood and energy to supporting your heart, brain, and immune system, quality sleep matters.
Anita Tigner is the chief pharmacist at Lewis Drug in Brandon. Anita understands why a good night's rest isn't a luxury, it's essential.
So she's here with practical tips to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and stop spending your nights tossing, turning, and pounding the pillow in frustrations. We can probably all relate.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
We were both talking earlier about how we really do relate to this. I don't think you got a good night's sleep last night. I often don't. So let's just talk a little bit about what kinds of ways we can help ourselves when it comes to sleep.
The first most important way is really what we call sleep hygiene, trying to go to bed the same time every night, awaking at the same time, shutting those phones and blue lights off 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. Kind of getting a really good bedtime habit will set you up for a better night's sleep.
It is really hard to put that phone down sometimes. Yeah. And so for those people that maybe don't, are there some things that they can do as far as supplements and stuff to help that process?
Yeah, after trying those other things, and if they're not working or you're just having a really stressful week, there's definitely over-the-counter medications you can try first. One of them I really like, I use myself, is magnesium glycinate.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about magnesium. I think magnesium is something a lot of us have heard. There's different kinds of magnesium. What is it about magnesium that's helpful?
Well, magnesium actually works in those centers in our brain that help us calm down, settle down, shut off all the noise. But there's different types of magnesium. They have like how much elemental magnesium they deliver and how well it's absorbed. That's a big factor in the differences of them. And then I use magnesium glycinate because that amino acid glycine that it's attached to actually is a calming agent also. So they kind of work together. I always say go by what your doctor says if he's offered you a recommendation to use magnesium, but if you just come to me, that's where I would start.
Right. And that brings up a good point, because I do think people will see stuff on social media or other places that they feel like, oh, I should try this supplement or this. And so do you need to kind of be cautious with the different types of magnesium you're taking, or, you know, the things that you're trying?
Yes, definitely. You should talk to your pharmacist or your physician, because there are drug interactions, and we all have different problems with sleep, whether it's going to sleep or staying to sleep, and certain over-the-counter medications work better in different scenarios.
We were just looking at a list of some of the types that are good for that sort of infrequent sleeplessness, right? And melatonin was also on there, and some antihistamines.
Yeah, melatonin is very beneficial. Actually, magnesium has a part in producing melatonin. Melatonin is best for kind of resetting your kind of circadian rhythm, or just your natural, when you go to bed, fall asleep, and those sleep cycles. And that is a good choice and a safe choice. You do want to be careful where you're buying it from and what the source is, because I've read that different products can have 783% more melatonin than what it says on the label. So ask your pharmacist.
Yeah.
Again, back to the doctor, back to the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Make sure you know what you're taking.
Yeah.
If you've tried some of those over-the-counter things and the sleep habit things we talked about, and you're still not getting the relief that you want and need, are there prescriptions, or what can someone do to take it a little bit farther?
Yeah, definitely. That's time to visit your doctor. And there are medications he can give. I'd like to stress, though, that those are for short term. We shouldn't rely on sleep aids in the long term, because there are health consequences, like with those prescription things. Many of us heard of Ambien or Valium, those kinds of things. They can affect our memory. They can affect whether maybe you might develop dementia. And it's like next morning sedation, maybe affecting your driving, your working, because they're still kind of hanging on.
Right. So really situational. Maybe, you know, I would say, like, flying maybe, or something, an overnight flight. Like there's some reasons why you maybe could use something, but
Definitely situational,
Yeah.
yes. Like, you have had a stressful week, or you're going to be flying and you can't shut your mind out.
Right.
Those are great times for those types of products.
now some medications can also cause insomnia. So is that something to watch out with and maybe talk to your pharmacist about?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're having trouble sleeping and you really don't know why, go talk to your pharmacist, and they may recommend talking with your doctor, but certain medications like certain blood pressure pills, steroids, over-the-counter decongestants can all affect your sleep.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. If you are taking some of these other medications and then also mixing in, maybe the magnesium, melatonin, is that typically okay, or could that cause additional drowsiness that you don't necessarily need?
Yeah, it would cause additional drowsiness. You really shouldn't be mixing them.
So this is a good time I think a lot of us are underutilizing our pharmacists, right? We come in there and we don't want to bother pharmacists. They're doing all kinds of work, but it's really important to probably stop and say, hey, I'm picking up this medication.
Most definitely.
What else should I know? If you said to me it can cause some sleeplessness, I might ask you, can you recommend a supplement for me?
Yes, exactly. We seem busy, but our favorite part of our job is helping patients. So always ask. They want to help you. They maybe have questions and maybe determine, oh, you're not sleeping because you're taking this blood pressure medication.
Right.
So
How many people do you have come in asking for this type of help? I mean, is it something that a lot of us are dealing with?
yes, it's pretty frequent. I think partly we're all glued to our phones, our tablets, and life is stressful.
Yeah. Now, what is this? Because this looks like an intervention that's not even. Okay, so there are things that aren't medication at all, and you can help me with that too.
Yeah, that's part of that sleep hygiene,
Yeah, okay.
where maybe your room isn't completely dark. Put these over your eyes and to darken your room, because you want a cool room that's dark, no noise, and your bedroom for sleeping only. Those are kind of some of those sleep hygiene things that the pharmacist will talk to you about too.
Right. I think we can forget that sometimes, that there's more things at the pharmacy than medication.
Oh,
Yes,
for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think that we know very well, I mean, women of our age, I don't want to throw us out there, but we probably are going through a lot where we have some sleepless nights. So thank you so much.
A lot of us can relate to that.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
you.
having me.
When you're needing to get more Z's, a Lewis Drug Pharmacist can help guide you to the right solution. That's why you should make your neighborhood Lewis your first stop after a sleepless night. With 61 locations across the upper Midwest, Lewis has been a trusted neighborhood pharmacy and market leader for over 80 years.
Simply head to lewisdrug.com to find the location nearest you, and while you're there, be sure to download the Lewis app to your smartphone to get special savings and chances to win Lewis app rewards.
This Keloland Living segment is sponsored by Lewis Drug, your first stop for exceptional pharmacy services and guidance to help you and your loved ones rest easy when it comes to your health.
KLL continues with more Lifestyle to Love right after the break.